Welcome back. The BSE Sensex today posted its biggest rally in 7 years in a day, gaining 777 points. The rupee also rallying, rising to 67.86 per dollar on rate cut hopes. But amidst the cheer, the salaried class has some real concerns at hand. The prospect of Provident Fund withdrawals being taxed and employee Provident Fund withdrawals being taxed has led to considerable disquiet. The government now under pressure to roll back the proposal to tax withdrawals from the Employee Provident Fund. Revenue Secretary Hasmukh Adhya also issuing a clarification explaining that only interest accrued on 60% contribution to EPF after April 1, 2016 will be taxed. The principal amount will remain tax exempt. While the budget said employees will have to pay income tax on 60% of the amount they withdraw from the Employment Provident Fund, the remaining 40% will remain tax-free. The Prime Minister expected to take a final call on the matter. This was exactly the question that I had raised with Minister of State for Finance Jayant Sinha last night. Listen into what he had, what was his rationale for the move. Service tax 14%, Swachh Bharat cess will be 0.5%, Krishi Kalyan cess 0.5%. Then there is this whole question mark over the 60% of EPF taxable now. You know, people are wondering.
Yeah, let me explain that. Rajdeep,
yes.
Rajdeep, let me explain. This is a misapprehension. This is something that is erroneously being propagated, and I will make it crystal clear so that nobody has any qualms about this. What we've done is, as far as the Provident Fund is concerned, everything you've accumulated in the Provident Fund to date, which is all that has happened retrospectively, will remain as it is. There is no tax at all that's going to be applied to that. Prospectively going forward, we have to make sure that all of our pension plans, the Provident Fund plan, NPS, as well as other superannuation funds, are all on a level playing field. All of them going forward will be subject to the same tax regime, which I will explain in a second. It's E, that is, it's exempt when you put it in. It's E, it's exempt in terms of how it grows thereafter. And it is largely E in terms of withdrawal. Let me explain that to you, which is that you can withdraw 40% from any of these pension schemes on a completely tax-free basis. You will not have to pay any tax on that. There's 60%, which if you put in an annuity, you will not have to pay any tax on that at all. But if you don't put it in an annuity, if you withdraw it all at once, which is in fact defeating the purpose of a pension plan, because then you will have no retirement income, then yes, you will have to pay tax on it, and that is true for all the three pension plans. But this is on a go-forward basis. Anything you've accumulated in the past in Provident Fund obviously is going to remain as it is. We do not believe in retrospective taxation, therefore obviously we will not tax that. So please make sure that you and your viewers are crystal clear about it. We are ensuring that pension products work for what they're intended to do, which is income in retirement.
Okay. What does this all mean for you and me in simple terms? Who better to explain that than Subhash Lakhotia, tax expert? Subhash Lakhotia ji, this is the confusion. Can you clear it for us once and for all? What happens to my Provident Fund withdrawals after April 1, 2016 or my EPF account after April 1, 2016? If I withdraw from it, will it be subject to tax? Let's go back to Subhash Lakhotia, tax expert, on that other story which interests you and me. What happens to our PPF, Provident Fund and EPF withdrawals as a result of yesterday's budget? Mr. Lakhotia, I think we finally have got through to you. Can you tell us in very simple terms and quickly, should we be worried about our EPF and PPF withdrawals after April 1, 2016 being taxed?
Firstly, I would like to say that whether we like it or not, but government has made through this budget presentation one genuine effort to bring on record all three vistas together, namely with regard to the with regard to the recognized Provident Fund, with regard to the pension fund, and with regard to National Pension Scheme. Till now, the amount receivable from the pension, from the Provident Fund was simple one. It was exempted fully, while with regard to the NPS, it was EET. But now the government is planning to see that 40% of the amount to be exempted, whether it is your pension fund or whether it is recognized provident fund,
So
or
it's
whether it is
so as per the current
national
rules, despite
pension.
the government clarification, you are
What?
saying we will have to pay tax. Despite the government clarification so far, you will have to pay tax on any withdrawal of your provident
Yes,
fund or
that's
your
what I'm
EPF.
saying, that even if you don't like it, but the fact remains that big amount, 40% alone will be exempted. On 60% tax will be payable.
Okay, so on 60% tax will be payable, you're saying, despite the government clarification. We will wait to see then if the government rolls back this contentious issue in the days ahead. Mr. Lakhotia, sorry for the line being bad. Thank you very much for joining us.
This happens only in India and again and again. This is one more example of lawmakers caught on camera shaming their profession.
पैसे वाले बाबू मेरा बजट बना दो, पैसे वाले बाबू मेरा बजट बना दो, बजट बना दो, बजट बना दो, पैसे वाले मेरा बजट तू